Paducah, Paducah. If you wanna, you can rhyme it with bazooka, but you can't poo-poo Paducah. That's another name for paradise. Paducah, Paducah, just a pretty little city in Kentucky, but to me it rhymes with lucky when I'm looking in your two blue eyes. Tulip time, they get excited over tulip time, but I'm delighted over julep time, because I happen to love a resident of Paducah, Paducah. If you wanna, you can rhyme it with bazooka, but you can't poo-poo Paducah. That's another word for paradise.
Paducah, Paducah. If you wanna, you can rhyme it with bazooka, but you can't poo-poo Paducah. That's another name for paradise. Paducah, Paducah, just a pretty little city in Kentucky, but to me it rhymes with lucky when I'm looking into two blue eyes. Tulip time, they get excited over tulip time, but I'm delighted over julep time, because I happen to love a resident of Paducah, 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 Paducah. If you wanna, you can rhyme it with bazooka, but you can't poo-poo Paducah. That's another name for paradise.
So why are you standing here? The show's open. Let's get inspired.
It's just growing by leaps and bounds. Last year at Showtime we had, 11, 12,000 members, and now we know we have over 23,000 members of the society, and we're just growing daily.
The AQS has done a lot for me as a quilter by encouraging me and inspiring me, and I like the judges' comments because I want to be a better quilter.
Oh, it's overwhelming.
The AQS show is my greatest inspiration.
The AQS Fashion Show celebrates the sharing of quilting in a unique and very public way. Through the years, the fashion show has provided inspiration for other fabric artists to proudly display their creations. From the sublime to the truly stupendous, the fashion show has become one of the hottest tickets at the show. National attention was received when Willard Scott of NBC's Today Show visited the show and contest. His popular appeal and down-home personality complemented what the show and contest is all about.
Irvin S. Cobb, Alvin Barkley, two of my idols in life. It's their hometown. And speaking of idols in my life, I want you to meet the Schraders. You know, we're here with the American Quilting Society, and there are going to be 30,000 people that quilt.
Well, we are book publishers, and we became interested in collecting quilts. And so we had a book about collecting quilts, and we had a book about pricing quilts. And so then we just started to get involved in the quilt people a little bit and met a lot of people. And then they had a little local show here. A guild had a local show here in Paducah. And we thought, okay, let's go check this out, see what it's like. So we did, and we were just so impressed and so excited. We thought this was wonderful. So then we went to Bell Buckle, Tennessee, and it was in a little gymnasium. And they had the quilts hung on rope on the gym from one side to the other. And this isn't my idea of how these quilts should be exhibited, because they're just works of art.
I'm Suzanne Marshall, and this is my husband Garland. We live in Clayton, Missouri, and we're here because the American Quilter Society show is so exciting every year. We just cannot wait to see all of the quilts in the competition. And I don't think quilters were recognized for a long time in this country. And this is a way of recognizing quilters. I mean, quilting has been an art form for years, but really hasn't been recognized as such, I think, until more recently.
This is my first trip to Kentucky. I've had various holidays in America to come quilting, but this time we decided that we simply had to come to Paducah. To come to Paducah has just been wonderful.
This is kind of the World Series of quilting. Every year I'm astounded.
I'm overwhelmed with all those beautiful quilts.
When we come to the show site, it takes all 60 of the Schrader employees, plus we draft in spouses. And then we went to another show, and the whole family went. And so we decided, at that same time, this executive inn was being built here in Paducah, and until then we couldn't have done anything in Paducah anyway because we didn't have a facility. So it all just came together, and we decided, well, let's see if we can't do one in Paducah. So that's what we did. It was an art that was not being rewarded at all. I mean, blue ribbons, maybe a trip some places, all of the best of shows received, and we just felt that wasn't adequate for what they had done and all that. So we just felt that was the important thing, and that was really what the basis of our organization was really all about, to recognize today's quilters. It's always been our goal.
And what are you looking forward to seeing here?
Everything. In the judging process, of course, we have none of the story or the history. So the piece has to stand on its own when we're judging. And then the icing on the cake is when we get to read the program and see all the wonderful stories behind this quilt.
I first entered in Paducah in 1992, and the first quilt I entered was accepted, and that was the biggest thrill of my life. It's since been replaced by this one, I think. It's been my dream to have a quilt hanging in that museum, and now I will have one in the museum. That's a thrill.
Only in Paducah. Come experience it.
I've been very lucky to win Best of Show here 3 different times, and it's an absolute thrill. You know, this is kind of the World Series of quilting here, and being able to come and visit my children in the museum every year is very nice.
Paducah, Paducah, if you want to, you can rhyme it with bazooka, but you can't poo-poo Paducah. That's another word for paradise.
Did anybody see themselves up there anywhere? That's pretty bad, some of it. Well, we're so glad you're here to celebrate 35 years with the American Quilter Society Quilt Week. That's a long time. Has anybody been here all 35 years besides me? Oh, where's a lady over here? Give that lady a T-shirt. Okay, since we only had one, we'll go down. How about 34 years? Oh, 33? No, 32? We got a 33 back there? 2, 3? Wow, that's fantastic. We're so glad you've all been with us all those wonderful years. How about anybody here for the very first time? Oh, my goodness. Fantastic. We're so glad to have you. See all that history up there? Another 35 years, you'll be up there. Well, we're so glad to have you. We're really excited about 35 years. You know, you can't help but after this length of time to kind of go back and say, what's changed? What's happened in 35 years? So, you know, I sort of just thought a little bit, and I thought, you know, we've come from cardboard templates and scissors to rotary cutters, to AQ-quilt cutters, to pre-cuts. I don't know what we'll have next. We've gone from treadle sewing machines, which I did have, to electric sewing machines, to long arm sewing machines, to computerized sewing machines. I guess Alexis will be next. We can just say, go. So we've gone from hand-quilted best-of-show quilts to machine-quilted best-of-show quilts to long-arm best-of-show quilts. So we've had all of that. We've taken care of all that. We'll just start over. Plus, we've had all kinds of fabrics and tools and notions that have just changed. I guess you could say almost everything has changed, except one thing has not changed. And that thing is we've always, and I think it was up there too, we've always said we want to recognize today's quilter and her accomplishments. And that's what we have done for all these years, and we're so thankful to each of you. But now listen to this. You know, it's great when things work out, and we've been able to visualize and to realize that vision, but only for one reason. And that reason has been because of those sponsors that you saw up there. So, Michael, if you'll put up those sponsors again, I want to tell you how much money over 35 years has been given to Quilt Week winners at AQS. Are you ready for this? $5,800,000. $50,000. How about that? Isn't that great? And that's thanks to all those sponsors. Some of them have been with us the whole time, and we really appreciate that. But you all need to appreciate it too, because without them, we wouldn't have had $5 million. And we've given away $3,200,000 in just Paducah. So that's pretty good, I think, and I'm really proud of that. We've had 15,000 quilts in the contest on display in Paducah. 15,000. So this year, we have contest quilts from 44 states and 16 countries. So I always say I love it when a plan comes together. So I feel like this plan has come together mainly because of all of our sponsors, and we want to thank them so much for being a part of this show. And I can't think of any industry I'd rather be a part of. You know, quilting is just, people are exciting, it's fun, everybody's happy to be here, and we were just so excited to be a part of it. So now we want to see who's going to be our winners for tonight. So at this time, I want us to welcome Victoria Findlay Wolfe. She's going to announce our winners and give us a short lecture. So Victoria?
Hello, everybody. I hope that I know how to hook this up, first of all. Don't peeking, you can't see the script yet, okay? I know you're here to see some winners, but they've asked me if I would do a little talk for a little bit. So we're gonna switch on here real quick. Let's see if it's working. Okay. I bet my glasses will help. Let's see. They come in handy. I'm gonna move this up a little bit. Okay, are we switching over back there? There it is. All right, hey guys, I'm Victoria Findlay Wolfe. Nice to be here. Some of you may know me, some of you not. I do like to put up right away when I begin a lecture that my name is Victoria. Maybe because I've been called something else a few times today. It's not Virginia Wolfe, although you can clearly see we have a lot in common. We both hold our heads up. She stitches words together, I stitch fabrics together, okay? But as my students know, you do not need to be afraid of me, okay? That's the thing that's really awesome about quilters, right? We can go anywhere in the world and we have friends. I'll be your friend. Anybody need a friend? I'll be your friend, okay? Yay, all right. So if you think I'm kidding about the Virginia Wolfe thing, just in case people get it wrong, I will get packages in the mail that say, to Virginia at Victoria Findlay Wolfe Quilts. Just to cover the bases, okay? So I get a lot of interesting comments that people say to me. One of the things they like to say is, God, you are so much taller than when I see you on the internet. It's for real. And if you're looking at me on your iPhone, I'm even bigger. That's how that works. Another thing people always ask me is they say, what kind of machines do you use? And I said, I have 2 long arms. 1, 2. Right? Ha ha, ba-dum bump, right? Where's my drum roll? I'm from New York City. People always say, oh, you're from New York City? They're like, where? And I say, right there. Right there. Okay? I'm actually 4 blocks from Times Square, so if you need to come to New York City to look for fabric, you gotta look me up, okay? Because I don't know what else you would do in New York City. There's nothing else to do there, right? Except come to a quilt shop? Exactly. Right there. Just come to the big red arrow, right by Times Square. As I was coming down here, I found something in my studio that I'm not sure all of you would recognize. This is your cutting mat, people. Some of you only know about 10 inches of it because the rest of it's piled with fabric, right? Yeah. This is what it looks like when it's clean. I invited my friends in. They thought I had a pool table. It's a cutting mat. They do exist. Anyway, they asked me if I would come out and just speak a little bit about my process. I've been teaching the last few years here at Paducah. I love coming down here. And actually, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was this project that I've been working on for the past year and a half. Now, I just realized that it is the 35th year for AQS, and that's amazing because this is my 35th year of quilting. I know it, right? That's really cool. So when I started quilting, you guys were just starting the show. That's amazing. So what I've been doing this past year and a half is really looking back at my 35 years of quilt making. And in my books, I'm always talking about process. And I've actually learned a lot by going back and looking at my very first quilts and recognizing how far that I've come in that journey, which is very nice to do because you can pat yourself on the back because you start to realize, oh, I'm not afraid to do Y seams anymore, right? And all these other tricks that we learned along the way. So I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about looking backwards and what I got out about that, and looking forward, what do I do with those skills? I have an exhibit that's going to be up at the National Quilt Museum in June, and will be up for Fall Paducah. So how many of you are coming back for Fall Paducah? Oh, we got a few out there. Great. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. And hopefully you'll be able to come back. I'm doing a class at the National Quilt Museum as well, so if you want to come back and take a class, that's a nice place to do that as well. So let's look at this. So creativity and process, looking back. Aren't you dying to see what my first quilt looks like? Yeah, you're all like ready to laugh too, aren't you? Okay, you ready for it? Yeah, thanks. I heard it. I was waiting for it. Okay, yeah. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. If I told you my dad had an upholstery business and I didn't have any quilt batting, and so I stole his upholstery furniture batting, which is 2 inches thick, okay? And if you were told not to use that furniture batting in your little quilty projects, and then you did, and you realize if you only have a 1-inch needle, how hard it is to quilt a 2-inch thick quilt, your quilt would look like this also. In fact, I saw there was a bunch of people out here who've been quilting for a long time, right? 35 years, maybe more. Some of you still have this fabric in your stash, too. I know it. I know I have it, okay? So this quilt is very interesting to me because I thought I had lost it, and I found it a few years ago back on the farm in Minnesota, where I'm from. And when I found it, I was like, oh my gosh, I had totally forgotten about that. And then I found my first UFO. How many of you got unfinished projects at home? For the record, that only is about a third of you. I don't believe you. There's more of you, I know it. My first unfinished quilt top, check it out. A little Amish inspired. I can tell you that I was incredibly frustrated because those little monkey wrench blocks in the corner were completely wonky. And I could not get the points to stay on them, and I was like, whatever, and I never finished it. First UFO, okay? Now I have it. Now I'm trying to decide if I should go back and finish it, quilt it. I'm not really sure what to do with it. But if somebody would have told me 35 years ago, if I would have known, rest in peace to Gwen Marsden. Can we get some love for Gwen? That wonky was okay. My whole life could have taken a whole different change right from the get-go, right? So I went on, I thought, most people would get deterred from the first quilt that was really frustrating, and then you go on and you make this. Can I just say, to me, this is the most successful quilt in the whole world. You know why? It is well loved. This thing was made for my niece, which was handed down to another niece. It's been repaired. It's been rebatted. It's been taken apart and put back together, and they're still using it. So that, to me, is the most successful quilt in the whole world. Yes, thank you. Exactly. Okay? So at that time is when I was in art school, and I'm trained as a fine artist. Except something happened in art school when I tried to hang 2 quilts in my senior show. Anybody know what they told me? It was too crafty for art school. Gasp, right? So this is an interesting time when I look back at where my work was, because I started working on surface, painting on fabric, using ink to do some figurative work. And then when they told me that I couldn't do that in art school, I stopped quilting. Isn't that sad? Yeah, that's sad. Although it didn't deter me, because again, you kind of can't tell me no, so don't challenge me, guys, okay? Because I'll end up making whatever you tell me not to make. So I started playing with the work that I was doing as a painter and incorporating it into traditional aspects. Little did I know that that would actually become an interesting part of my work all these years later. So it's kind of odd with solids and that really traditional fabric in the background, and this is long before the Modern Quilt Guild was playing with modern traditionalism, but kind of playing on those textures. But then I started really thinking about quilts, and the quilts that I slept under on the farm were pieces that looked like this. Ah, I heard some ahs. Can I just also say that you guys just oohed and awed at a double knit polyester quilt? I love it. Yeah, these were the quilts made by my grandmother, and these are the things that severely and in a very good way sort of focused me on the work that I do now, looking at traditional patterns and trying to put a modern spin on it. And I love the fact that I can look at my grandmother's quilts and just see something that's completely timeless. And you know what else is really awesome about these double knit polyester quilts, right? They're going to look amazing 200 years from now. And your cotton quilts, they're going to be as sorry as mine from a few slides ago there. So these guys are going to look amazing forever. That color, you can't beat it. So that's kind of where my journey kind of took off. And one of the things that I really noticed quickly in my journey of making a quilt, that I wish somebody would have gave me permission right from the get-go to make mistakes. Mistakes are like the best things that you can do. I get so many ideas for quilts just by screwing something up. Anybody else? Yeah, because none of you make mistakes, right? Yeah, one hand in the back. All right, that's right. We're in a crowd full of award winners, so I get it now, okay? But I say embrace those mistakes because that's the way you know that you're learning something. This is one of the quilts that I made a long time ago, and it says, I am not perfect, and that is okay, right? That's how it works. Because ultimately, you guys, you got to remember, it's just fabric, and you have more. And if you don't, you know where you're going to be buying it this week, right? Exactly. So let's look at a couple of these mistakes. You see this cute little block? This was made from a Kansas City Star newspaper, and those of you from a distance can probably see that there's a giant curve going through the middle of this block. Let me make that clearer for you. There's not supposed to be a curve in this block. Anybody, right? So I thought, well, yeah, but it's really cute. So now what can I do with it? So I cut that puppy up. I go to my rotary cutter, and I'm going to splice some color into that. You know your center is going to be a hot mess, so you applique something over the middle, right? I add some made fabric around the outside, and that little nod to my grandmother and her scrap quilts. And then I put it away because I got stuck. There's my UFO project number 2, right? And then I went home a few years ago. This is like 4 years after I made this piece and put it away. And I asked my cousins, do you have any more of Grandma's quilts around that I need to see? And they showed me this. I love it. You just oohed at another polyester quilt. See? You all gonna, next year, we're gonna have a best in show quilt of double knit polyester. I'm looking for it. I'm gonna have to make it, aren't I? Dang it. Finding that inspiration by looking at my grandmother's quilt, I went home, I grabbed that unfinished object out of my bin, and I was working on double wedding rings at the time, 4 years later, which were the orange and green pieces were cut out for an entirely different quilt. Now, what does that tell you if you're thinking about looking at your process? That you buy the same fabrics over and over and over again, right? How many of you have bought a fabric and then go home and find out you still got 3 yards of it already? Yeah, thank you. I know my people. Yeah. So once I could take those parts and finish this UFO and add the made fabric around the outside and then add the element on that little star in the bottom that, reflected to my grandmother's quilt to finally make it a full circle moment, that kind of just sealed the deal for me. So I like to think that those old projects are really great to go back and look at because, as we know, some of us, we've been quilting for a year or 5 years or 10 years or 30 years, and guess what? None of you are the same quilter you were last week as you were 5 years ago. So if you go back and finish those unfinished projects, or at least pull them out and look at them, and spend some time with them, you've got new things that you can bring to the table to finish those quilt projects and make them amazing quilts. And what you need is the permission to look. Look at those pieces to go, now what can I bring to the table? What do I do over and over again? When you can identify the things that you are constantly doing in your process, that gives you a basis where you can now change some things. You can change the color palettes that you're always using. You can change the different layouts that you're doing. For instance, there's that first little beauty of mine, right? Square and a square. It seems to me that it's actually a thing I do over and over and over and over again. And this is what I realized by having to go back to look at 500 or 600 of my quilts and seeing that there are certain themes that I do over and over again where I think I'm getting outside of my own box. But clearly I'm just making another box, right? So I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, great. So I've done some. What else can I do? Can I stretch it? Oh, I missed some of these. It didn't go through. Which way am I going? I went backwards, forward. There we go. Stretch that square, do something different, right? Applique something on it. Pour the water down the front of your shirt, right? I'm nursing a cold still, so I'm trying not to cough through the whole thing. I can add some different elements and actually pull out other unfinished blocks from other unfinished projects that I've started, right? I can incorporate every single other idea I've had to build on that square and a square, from miniature piecing to mitered corners to matching my points to Y seams and adding every single element I can in there, except, wait, I don't see any curves. I can still do that, but incorporate curves into that concept as well. And what happens when you do that, you start to realize that you start working in a series. So that's another way to start thinking about how you can change your process and look at a different way. And then when you do that, you end up making 70 more double wedding ring quilts because clearly I'm a creature of habit, right? This is something I love to do. I love actually making quilt tops so that I can cut them up and turn them into something else. There's an idea for you, right? I love looking at traditional blocks, like on this Winding Ways block where we focus on that little square, the little red square. Yeah, you can never beat a red square. They always look good. And then I look to go, well, what else can I do, and can I make it modern? That's exactly the same block. That's the kind of stuff right there that makes me all excited to be a quilt maker, okay? That also means that I'm giving you the permission to cut that stuff up, okay? I stopped at a couple antique shops on the way up here, and I bought everybody else's unfinished projects, right? So get those projects out. For instance, this is a quilt that I made. That's a hot mess, isn't it? I made it a long time ago. I pulled that out, and I thought, no, that's not going to work. And so I cut that puppy up. That's the carcass right there. Cut the blocks right out of that thing. Make a second quilt, which is uglier than the first one that I made. I said it, you were thinking it. And I cut it up again. And then I said it one more time. Third time's the charm. And then I was finally happy with it. Now, this may sound like a hard thing to do, to cut up those old quilt tops, but ultimately, what are you going to do with them? You're not going to finish them. They're going to end up in the thrift store, then I'm going to have to go buy it, and I have enough work to do, so thank you, right? Cut that stuff up, because ultimately, you know you have friends that are here to support you through the process, right? All right, so you need a little permission to play, because we have to remember that it's just fabric, even if it has seams in it, if you don't like it the first time. Just play with it, cut it up, and make it into something that you'll love. Permission to make time. Time seems to be one of the hardest things that I can come by, so if you have any, please send it my way. But take the time to stay connected to your process. If you're not able to sew for 12 hours a day every single day, if you do, excellent. If not, take a few minutes. I've heard 15 minutes of play is a good way to go. And looking forward, I'm looking to see, after looking back at all of these quilts, that there are still some shapes that I can design, that I can play with, and come up with something different. There are different fabrics. This is my double knit polyester quilt. Now you can go and play with double knit polyester. You're going to have to call me, though, because I've got hordes of it at my house. I know you're jealous, right? I can find color palettes that are maybe not familiar or that make me uncomfortable. I can force myself. I can also be the storyteller, because ultimately that's what we're being as quilters, is to tell our stories. And for me, I'm pushing for a little bit forward and going back and making a connection to when college told me that what I was doing was too crafty. And since I'm trained as a fine artist and have a half degree in photography that I never finished, I'm now looking at how I can incorporate where I stalled back in those days in the early 90s. So remember to think big, because the sky is the limit when you're enjoying something you love. Does that not look big to you? Does that look big to you? Yeah, I know, right? This was hanging here at Paducah about 2 years ago now, I think. Yeah, 9 feet by 30 feet. So if you haven't made that, put that on your list. That's next, okay? And remember that we're all here to have fun. It's your hobby. If you love it, you should be enjoying it. If you're not, start baking or golfing or pick another hobby. But you should all be having a good time. So is that enough? That's enough. All right? All right, I'm going to put that away, and we're going to get to the really good stuff. Right? We want to hear some other news? There's a few people that are waiting to hear some stuff, I think. Let's find out. Okay, welcome to the 35th Annual AQS Quilt Week Awards presentation. Woo! Everybody! And welcome to those of you who are watching at home. Hello, live on the AQS Online, our Facebook page. Before recognizing the winners of this year's Paducah Quilt Week contest, we'd like to introduce some of the winners of awards and contests conducted by the National Quilt Museum. The School Block Challenge 2019, which was sponsored by Moda Fabrics. Presenting the award tonight is Frank Bennett. And this contest is open to the students in grades K through 12, and the grand prize winner is Stronger, Higher, Faster by Isabel Williams from St. Michael's School in St. Louis, Missouri. Yay! Woo! Good job! Oh, I have one. Thank you. Thanks. You did a great job. This block was entered in the 5th to 8th grade level. Excellent. Thank you. The National Quilt Museum, the new quilts from an old favorite contest. The 2019 theme was Oak Leaf and Reel, sponsored by Janome America and Moda Fabrics. Frank, you're going to give that award as well. For the 3rd place award is for Hardika's Dreams, Carol Krause from Bismarck, North Dakota. The 2nd place award is This Time I'm Really Leafing, Susan Mogan of Mobile, Alabama. And the 1st place award goes to Sparkling in a Flurry of Blue, Julie Wells and Amy Shilwa of Cadiz, Kentucky. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners in the National Quilt Museum contest. It is with great pride that we now announce the winners for the 35th Annual AQS Quilt Contest. We would like to first recognize all the winners of the Honorable Mention Awards. Can we have the lights a little bit, please? And when your name is called, please stand and remain standing so we can celebrate all Honorable Mention Award winners with a round of applause. So I will read through all of them, and then we'll give them a big, warm love of applause, okay? 2019 Honorable Mention Award winners have been given to Rainbow Kaleidoscopes, Dorinda Evans and Ingrid Witcher of Madison, Mississippi. Pandemonium, Susan Minchow of Pleasantdale, Nebraska. Mother-Daughter Quilt by Karen Penrod and Jennifer Benet of Parma, Michigan. Espalier, Joanne Webb of Grain Valley, Missouri. Celtic Migration by Angela Petrocelli of Prescott Valley, Arizona. Memories, Joyce Height and Patricia Heckler of Springboro, Ohio. San Francisco Fireboat by Diane Long, Lena, Illinois. Migration Patterns of Susan Mogan of Mobile, Alabama. Come Dance With Me, the quilting page from Apple Valley, Minnesota. Berry Patchwork by Pam Beal of Mass City, Michigan. Copper Enamel Ammonite by Kimberly Lacey of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Tic-Tac-O by Maria Schell of Anchorage, Alaska. Holiday Houses by Jan Lee Asman of Okemos, Michigan. Sunny Place by Masayo Nimi of Japan. Chameleon, The Eyes Have It by Rhonda Denny of Cannon City, Colorado. Any Scrap Will Do by Carolyn Buckland Mullins of Daniels, West Virginia. And Ghost Town of St. Elmo, Sharon Schlotzhauer of Monument, Colorado. Congratulations to all the honorable mentions. Thank you. The next category is the Judges Recognition Award, sponsored by Bernina of America, Q Series Long Arms. Representing Bernina tonight is John Carr. The first quilt that is recognized by Judge Kimberly Einmo is Jingle Bells by Antonia Herring of the Netherlands. Kimberly wrote, I was drawn to the fabulous combination of techniques in this pretty quilt. The maker's attention to detail with the addition of beads, embroidered elements, and exquisite applique draw the viewer's eye in to check out every inch. The quilt's original design captures the beauty and the joy of the Christmas spirit and season. Congratulations. The quilt recognized by Judge Scott Merkin is the Circle Jubilee by Becky McDaniel of Laguna Niguel, California. Yeah, that's the kind of enthusiasm I like. So Scott said that he chose this quilt because of the cheerful circles used to create the clever design. The hand quilting complements the design beautifully. The pipe binding is the perfect finishing touch. Congratulations on combining all your design elements successfully. Woohoo! The quilt judge recognized by Judge Donna Wilder is The Race to Summit by Brigitte Villeneuve of Canada. Donna stated, I have family members who are great sports enthusiasts, and this quilt reminds me of their outdoor playgrounds. The quilt is a masterpiece of tiny 1/16 inch confetti pieces, each one the machine stitched and quilt circled. The color shading of the trees, the biker, and the bike are all extremely realistic and combined to create this outstanding quilt. You're welcome. Congratulations to all the judges' recognitions. Next up, we have the miniature quilts category, sponsored by Baby Lock, Crown Jewel, and Tiara. Representing Baby Lock tonight is Zach Gallegos. The third place award goes to Hibiscus Bouquet by Naomi Aida of Japan. This miniature quilt was inspired by Naomi's previous wall quilt. However, she applied different techniques because she wanted to express the gradation and 3D flowers of the hibiscus bouquet. Techniques are hand embroidery, shadowing, trapunto, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations. The second place award goes to Tight Pineapple by Amy Pabst of Leroy, West Virginia. This quilt was inspired by an antique pineapple quilt made in the 1880s. It was machine pieced and machine quilted and has 2,772 pieces. And the first place award is Playtime by Joanne Love of Canada. I don't know if we have her here. No. Joanne wanted to make a fun piece while exploring new techniques and the freedom to just play. She said she enjoyed making every part of this quilt. Techniques include fused applique, hand applique, machine applique, beading, decorative stitching, embellishments, hand embroidery, paper piecing, machine piecing, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations to all the winners in the miniature quilt category. Next up is the Small Wall Quilts Quilter's Choice, sponsored by Superior Threads. Representing Superior Threads tonight is Mark Hyland. Thank you, Mark. The third place award goes to The Jump by Cristina Arsenigu Bono, Spain. Christina adores children's books, especially the old ones. The quilt reminds her of the summer she spent playing in her grandpa's home near a river. Design source is How to Cope with a Child, manual in 22 episodes, and illustrations by Sveta Dorsheva. Techniques use fabric painting, thread painting, trapunto, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. The second place award is Plain and Simple by Jody Robinson of Enon Valley, Pennsylvania. Jody loves the idea of piecing a very simple but graphic top and then challenging herself to enhance the design without overwhelming the piece with the quilting. She reached her goal with a Plain and Simple. Jody used machine piecing and free motion quilting on a movable machine. And the first place award goes to The Sprinter by Birgit Schuler of Germany. Is Birgit here? No. For Birgit, running in freedom that allows her to break free from the stress and restrictions of everyday life, she artfully created this feeling using fused applique, machine applique, inking, free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Small Wall Quilts. Next up is the Small Wall Quilt's first entry into an AQS Paducah contest category sponsored by Horn of America. Representing Horn of America, I believe, is Bonnie Browning. The third place award is Abby's Flower Garden by Cities Butterworth of Frisco, Texas. Is she here? No. You have to love English paper piecing. Over 1,400 one-inch hexagons were all hand-pieced, edge to edge, to create this stunning little quilt. Design source, Forget Me Not Sew Along by Sue Daly Designs, quilted on a movable machine by Susan Corbett. The second place award goes to Splat by Don Seiden of Somers, Montana. Over 100 different red, white, and black color combinations are in this paper piece quilt. It took over 10 years for Don to collect these 100 fabrics. Aw, we could collect more than that, can't we? Sorry, I had to. Design source, Raindrops Pattern by Judy and Bradley Niemeyer, Quiltworks. Techniques include fused applique, machine applique, couching, crystals, paper piecing, and piped edging. Computer-aided machine quilting by Debbie Tribble. And the first place award goes to Hand in Hand by Taketo Ito of Japan. Taheko loves flowers and wanted to make all of her favorites into a Baltimore album-style quilt for a long time. We are so glad that she finally did. This beautiful quilt is hand-quilted and has hand piecing and hand applique. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners of the Small Wall Quilt's first entry into an AQS Paducah contest. This is the best job in the world. I get goosebumps every time you guys walk up here. Just don't come up crying, because I will start crying. If I see you cry, I'm one of those people, so don't do that. Small wall quilts, pictorial category, sponsored by FOF. Representing FOF is Kay Kosis. Okay, the third place award is for Spring Harmony by Kathy McNeil of Tulalip, Washington. Spring is all about new life, beauty, and embracing new possibilities. The techniques here include hand applique, decorative stitching, interfacing, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. The second place award goes to On Thin Ice by Deb Crine of Marco Island, Florida. Aw, he's cute. Inspired by a photo on Pixabay.com, Deb painted a silk with textile paint, dye, and color pencils, and then free motion quilted on a stationary machine with silk threads. And the first place award goes to Is She Ready Yet? Heidi Profferty, Bridgewater, Mass. Captured in a photo is this precious moment when Heidi's first daughter gave her soon-to-be baby sister a flower and then asked, "Is she ready yet?" Created using a hand-drawn mosaic design with over 5,000 small fabric pieces cut using a digital cutter, additional techniques are fused applique and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners of the Small Wall Quilts pictorial category. Next up, we have the Small Wall Quilts movable machine quilted category, sponsored by Pro Stitcher. Representing Pro Stitcher is Mark Highland. The third place award goes to Bubble Ballet by Birgit Schuler of Germany. Birgit designed this circular array of 6 sets of bright, different size, semi-transparent, spiraling circles, and then had them digitally printed on 100% cotton sateen fabric. Placement of the circles in color gives the illusion of the spinning endless loop. Techniques include digital fabric printing, machine piecing, free motion quilting on a movable machine with computer-assisted stitch software. The next is the second place award, which goes to Red Rosework, Michaela Byrne of Canada. Ooh. Michaela wanted to create a red whole cloth quilt with roses. Rosework is a play on the term white work, describes white whole cloth quilting. Techniques, trapunto, free motion quilting on a movable machine. And the first place award goes to See the Leaves for the Tree by Marilyn Farker of Canada. When Marilyn found the featured funky fabric, she knew she had to purchase something and do something fresh and modern. Her original design is paper pieced, machine pieced, and free motion quilted on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Small Wall Quilts movable machine quilted category. The next category is the Small Wall Quilts Stationary Machine Quilted category, sponsored by Koala Cabinets. Presenting this award is Zach Gallegos. The third place award is Midnight Fantasy number 10 by Carol Breyer Fallert Gentry of Port Townsend, Washington. The second place award goes to Morning Rain by Sarah Ensminger of Ashburn, Virginia. Water, either still or moving, has inspired many of Sarah's pieces. She is especially intrigued with how to portray weather and water together. Sarah created her original design using fused and machine applique, hand dyeing, Suneco inks, fabric painting, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. And the first place award goes to Protecting the Flame by Sandy Snow of Lutz, Florida. Yay, we have the winner in the house. Sandy stated that as a widow, protecting the flame represents the sunset light from a wonderful marriage while protecting new feelings of rejection experienced during online dating. Congratulations. The techniques included machine applique, fabric painting, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations to all the winners of the small wall quilt stationary machine quilted category. Small wall quilts hand quilted category sponsored by Martelli Enterprises. Representing Martelli Enterprises is Brian Jordan. The third place award is for Sarmenetite, Andrea Stark of Germany. Here. This original whole cloth design is an interpretation of the intricate patterns of damask flowers. The quilting and the knife edge finish are done by hand. The second place award is Life of Sunbonnet Girls by Michiko Takahashi, Japan. This quilt depicts various scenes of lovely memories of life in Machiko's family. Grandmother's flower garden hexagons surrounded the Sunbonnet Sioux images. This quilt was created by hand applique, hand dyeing, hand embroidery, hand piecing, and hand quilting. Congratulations. And the first place award goes to The Sum of Odd Integers, Elaine Krajewski-Ellison, Sarasota, Florida. Elaine has quilted mathematical ideas for use in the classroom for over 35 years, and this quilt definitely fits the pattern. This beautiful quilt has decorative stitching, hand applique, and hand quilting. Congratulations to all the winners of the Small Wall Quilts hand quilted category. The Group Quilts category, sponsored by ABM International. Representing ABM tonight, do we have Heidi Farmer or Neil Schwartzberger in the house? No, then we're going to have Bonnie Browning come on out. Yay, Bonnie! All right. Third place award goes to Pu Aloha by Matsuko and 11 friends from Japan. Cleverly arranged roses make this Hawaiian motif stand out on this sampler quilt, hand applique, and hand quilting. The second place award, 2 Degrees Celsius by Be Social, Denver, Colorado. Using the collective power of creation, each member of the group created an improvisational block in response to a prompt about the vibrating undercurrents of climate change. The quilting by Christone Perigo overlays the rhythmic motion and hand embellished areas called the viewer to take a closer look. Techniques include decorative stitching, hand embroidery, foundation piecing, and machine piecing, quilted on a movable machine. And the first place award goes to La Vie en Rose by Mai Yamada and 7 Amigas, Japan. Hand applique, hand piecing were used to create the roses in this beautiful quilt. The colors were chosen to represent the joy of each other. This piece is hand quilted. Congratulations to all the winners of the Group Quilts category. Next up is the Wall Quilts Modern category, sponsored by Statler by Gamble. Presenting the award tonight is Cindy Cuthbertson from Statler by Gamble. Here she comes. The third place award goes to Black Stars by Mary Lorenz of Austin, Texas. Mary is fascinated with the possibilities for the color black. She wanted to tackle a modern quilt of her own design, so she flipped the negative field idea on its head by making this negative space black. Techniques are machine embroidery and piped edging, quilted on a movable machine by Laura Eppescheid. The second place award goes to The Modern Drunk by Jody Robinson of Enon Valley, Pennsylvania. This is Jody's modern interpretation of using the very traditional drunkard's path block. She loves to create very graphic, large-scale quilts and then add machine quilting to enhance the quilt design without overpowering it. Machine piecing with machine quilting on a movable machine. And first place award goes to Vibrato by Carolina Onito of Chile. Music and color are recurrent themes in Carolina's work. In this quilt, she wanted to interpret vibrato as a musical theme and the vibration of colors as an optical effect of movement. Techniques were used improvisational piecing, machine piecing, and quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations to all the winners of the Wall Quilt Modern category. Next, we're up to Wall Quilts, Pictorial category, sponsored by Elna US. Presenting the award for Elna USA, please welcome Patrick Favre. Are you here tonight? Oh, we got somebody else. Nancy Berg. Nancy, come on up. The third place award is for Stepping Up by Pat Durbin, Arcata, California. While walking the trails in Prairie Creek Park, Pat was fascinated by this bridge covered with clover and other greens. This is her attempt to get that lush feeling in a quilt. Pat used machine applique, collage, confetti, decorative stitching techniques, machine quilted on a stationary frame. The second place award, Little Artist by Masanobu Hiroko Miyama in Masanobu, Miyama, Japan. Hiroko's granddaughters were the inspiration for this quilt. Their butterflies and flowers were popped into the wallpaper too. Techniques include fused applique, hand dyeing, machine piecing, machine embroidery, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations. And the first place award goes to Sea Breeze by Joanne Baith of Bonanza, Oregon. Painted buoys and sky, heat-distressed roofs, thread-painted bushes and trees, brightly colored buildings and boats, color weaving of water fabrics, and extensive quilting combined to create this picturesque scene. Features trapunto, thread sketching, inking, confetti, fused applique, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations to all the winners of the Wall Quilts Pictorial category. I'm going to make you wait 1 second for the wall quilts. I'll start getting scratchy, you won't understand me. All right, wall quilts, movable machine quilted category, sponsored by Juki America. Representing Juki is Karen Farr. The third place award is In Full Bloom by Claudia Feil, Germany. Hello, Karen. Hand-dyed and solid silks and satins embellished with 12,000 Swarovski crystals creates Claudia's magical garden where everything is in full bloom. Other techniques include hand applique, couching, improvisational piecing, thread sketching, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. The second place award goes to My Secret Garden, Margaret Solomon Gunn of Gorham, Maine. Peer through the wrought iron gate to see the secret garden that blooms all year long, creating a playground for many butterflies in a perpetual summer. Margaret's original design was created using hand applique, beading, bias work, embellishment, machine piecing, matchstick quilting, and piped edging techniques, quilted on a movable machine. And the first place award goes to Marie's Treasure, a Maryland Badger of St. George, Utah. When Marilyn saw the hand-dyed vintage doily in Wendy Richardson's booth, she knew she had to make a quilt in honor of her Aunt Ree, who could crochet like no other. Paula Nadelstern's fabrics was a perfect match for the colors in the doily. Techniques included fused applique, hand applique, beading, broderie purse, collage, crystals, embellishments, hand embroidery, fabric painting, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Wall Quilts Movable Machine Quilted category. Wall Quilts Stationary Machine Quilted category, sponsored by Baby Lock USA. Presenting the award for Baby Lock USA, please welcome Zach Gallegos. And the third place award goes to Tranquil Spaces 3 by Loretta Painter of Norris, Tennessee. Loretta made this quilt to hang in her foyer to set the stage for her calm and tranquil home. Techniques include paper piecing, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. The second place award, Farm Market Blooms by Nancy Simmons of Duncannon, Pennsylvania. Yay! She's here. Nancy loves precision piecing and says the smaller the better. Design source, the flower box pattern by Adita Sitar. Laundry basket quilts. Techniques include machine piecing, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. And the first place award goes to Reflections of Love by Jennifer Horsford of Australia. Jennifer created this stunning image of the Taj Mahal and a memorial to her close friend Annette, who has passed away. The reflection pool shows the building in the still waters and is surrounded by peacock feathers. Jennifer's techniques include thread painting, fabric painting, embellishments, crystals, beading, machine applique, fused applique, and quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations to all the winners of the Wall Quilt Stationary Machine Quilted category. Next up is the Hand Quilted category, sponsored by the Rotary Club of Paducah. Representing the Rotary Club of Paducah is Barry Smith. The third place award goes to Ruby Wedding Anniversary by Harumi Asada, Japan. This beautiful quilt commemorates Harumi's 40 years of marriage. Harumi has been quilting for 35 years and draws inspiration from her own life to create her designs. Techniques include machine applique, hand embroidery, hand piecing, and hand quilting. The second place award goes to Flower Festival by Sachiko Chiba from Japan. Sachiko spends her time expressing beauty with flowers on her quilts, strapunto, applique, embroidery, and quilting all done by hand. Okay. Their first place award goes to Past and Future Meet, Noriko Kido, Japan. This quilt blends Noriko's favorite fabrics and favorite techniques, including machine piecing, hand applique, hand embroidery, and hand quilting. Congratulations to all the winners of the hand-quilted category. Next up is the large quilts, first entry into an AQS Paducah contest category, sponsored by Gamble Quilting Machines. Representing Gamble tonight is Cindy Did I say that already? Culbertson. I really stumbled over that. Cindy, come on up. Culbertson. Yes. All right. The third place award goes to Ruffled Roses by Kim Radabaugh of Twin Falls, Idaho. Kim enjoyed making this quilt and said she learned so much in the process. Techniques use hand applique, decorative stitching, paper piecing, machine piecing, piped edging, and machine quilting on a movable machine. Design source, Ruffled Roses pattern by Suze Garman. Come quilt. Second place award, Anniversary by Michio Hashimoto of Japan. Michio made this specially designed double wedding ring quilt to commemorate her 40 years of marriage. Their memories are expressed using applique flowers and soft colors. Techniques include machine piecing, hand applique, hand embroider, hand piecing, and hand quilting. Congratulations. And the first place award goes to Tabor Wellborn Family Tree Quilt of Sioux Atlas, Lakeside, California. After seeing motifs from 2 Dover clip art books, Sue designed a memory quilt for her father. The design sources are early American design motifs by Sue Chapman, the folk art designs, and motif and artists by craftspeople by Joseph de Atada. And techniques include fused and machine applique, beading, hand embroidery, and machine quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners of the large quilts, first entry into an AQS Paducah contest category. Enter those quilts, guys. That's why we have quilt shows, right? Keep entering those quilts. It's so fun. See quilts at quilt shows. What else are you going to do at a quilt show, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, large quilts, movable machine quilted category, sponsored by Locksmith Lizzie. Representing Locksmith Lizzie is Esther Floyd. Maybe Bonnie Browning? We need you, Bonnie. Okay. The first place award goes to Moonlight Garden by Sherry Durbin of Burnsville, North Carolina. Sherry enjoyed using bright colors to create her original design. Techniques include fused applique, machine quilted on a movable machine by Gina Boone. Congratulations. The second place award is Your Place or Mine by Marva Lee Otos by Ketchikan, Alaska. An obsession for wool applique, she combined with traditional quilting methods to make this quilt based on My Place or Yours pattern by Wendy Williams of Flying Fish Kits. Techniques include hand applique, beading, decorative stitching, embellishments, hand embroidery, and machine piecing. Machine quilted by Margie Kraft on a movable machine. And the first place award goes to Spot On by Gail Stepanek and Jan Hutchinson of New Lenox, Illinois. Gail hand appliqued the blocks and set them on to a pieced background. Jan used colorful cotton thread and silver metallic thread to create the quilted design. Techniques include hand applique, paper piecing, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the large quilts movable machine quilted category. Large quilts, stationary machine quilted category, sponsored by Husqvarna Viking. Representing Husqvarna Viking tonight is Kay Kosis. And the third place award goes to Rainbow of Hope by Simone Stuner of Sweden. Simone's quilt is a visual representation of peace and freedom, uniting everyone under a rainbow of hope. Techniques, machine applique, crystals, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. The second place award goes to Oh Be Joyful by Cindy Seitz-Krug of Overgard, Arizona. This stunning quilt has over 1,400 hand-appliqued clamshells. Additional techniques include machine applique, machine piecing, and machine quilting on a domestic sewing machine. And the first place award goes to From the Inside Out by Catherine Butterworth of Australia. Catherine loves fussy cutting. In this original design, the beautiful fabric prints dictated the final design at every stage. Techniques are hand and machine applique, couching, embellishments, machine piecing, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the large quilt stationary machine quilted category. And now we're up to the special awards. Last year, we introduced a new and very special award, the Nancy Ann Sobel Award of Merit in Hand Quilting. Nancy Ann Sobel, a talented and dedicated quilter who you saw in the video at the beginning, passed away in November 2017. Nancy won the Ginger Hand Workmanship Award with A Midwinter Night's Dream in 1990 and 1991. She won Best of Show with Dawn Splendor in the AQS Quilt Contest. To recognize Nancy's commitment to the art of hand quilting, a memorial fund was set up to support the $1,000 Nancy Ann Sobel Award of Merit in Hand Quilting that will be awarded annually in her name at the AQS Quilt Week Spring Paducah. Representing the Nancy Ann Sobel Memorial Fund is Meredith Schrader. And the award of Merit in Hand Quilting goes to The Days Spent with Baltimore by Toshiko Imaya of Japan. Toshiko spent 3 years engrossed in working on her Baltimore quilt that is composed of 25 stories, all hand appliqued and hand quilted. Her design sources are by Ellie Seinekowitz books. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners, or this winner of the Award of Merit in Hand Quilting. Okie dokie, here we go. Best Wall Movable Machine Workmanship Award, sponsored by Handy Quilter. Representing Handy Quilter is Mark Hyland. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, come on, get up here. The Handy Quilter Best Wall Movable Machine Workmanship Award goes to Magnetic Attraction by Gail Stepanek and Jan Hutchinson of New Lenox, Illinois. Four paper-pieced compass blocks that were eliminated from a previous project found a new home in this beautiful wall hanging. Techniques include paper piecing, machine piecing, piped edging. Jan's original freehand quilting added a second layer of interest. Congratulations to the winners of the Handy Quilter Best Wall Movable Machine Workmanship Award. Now we're up to the Best Wall Stationary Machine Workmanship Award, sponsored by Brother International Corporation. Representing Brother International Corp is Bonnie Browning. The Brother International Corporation Best Wall Stationary Machine Workmanship Award goes to, signed, sealed, and delivered by Sheila Gaquin of Deer Harbor, Washington. Sheila made this quilt in honor of the community of Deer Harbor, who raised $250,000 in 8 weeks to buy their community post office to save it from closure. Quilted on a stationary machine, techniques include fused applique. Congratulations. Okay, we're getting closer. I've only got a few more pieces of paper in my hand. Okay, Best Wall Hand Workmanship Award, sponsored by Coates & Clark. Representing Coates & Clark tonight is Bonnie Browning. The Coates & Clark Best Wall Hand Workmanship Award goes to Sewing is Beliefing by Christine Wickert of Penfield, New York. Made with silks, Christine's quilt is entirely hand-pieced, hand-embroidered, hand-beaded, and hand-quilted. Design source, K. Fassett Bold Blooms, Quilt and Other Works Celebrating Flowers by K. Fassett. Congratulations. Congratulations to you for the Coates & Clark Best Wall Hand Workmanship Award. And now for the Purchase Award winners. First up is the Best Miniature Quilt Award, sponsored by AccuQuilt. Do we have Eleanor Burns here tonight? There she is. Representing AccuQuilt is Eleanor Burns. We got to stop meeting like this every year, same place, right? All right, and the AccuQuilt Best Miniature Quilt Award goes to Circuit Training, Philippa Naylor, United Kingdom. This is Philippa's 4th quilt in her miniature quilt journey. She used lots of color, machine piecing, turned edge applique, paper piecing, and a little bit of hand embroidery. Free motion quilted on a stationary frame. Congratulations, Philippa, on the AccuQuilt Best Miniature Quilt Award. Thank you. Thank you, good. Thank you, Eleanor. Yep. Okay, we are up to Best Wall Quilt Award. I'm going to take a drink first. I don't want to stumble through and say, and the winner is Miss Minnesota, or something strange like they do, right? When you see people make flubs. I got to get it right, people. Okay, Best Wall Quilt Award, sponsored by Hobbs Bonded Fibers. Presenting the award for Hobbs Bonded Fibers is Stephanie Hackney. Is not Stephanie not? Nope, she's not here. Bonnie Browning. The Hobbs Bonded Fiber Best Wall Quilt Award goes to Dance of the Twirly Girls, Andrea Brokenshire, Round Rock, Texas. Andrea dedicated this quilt to her Aunt Esther and Aunt Helen, who left their earthly bounds within a month of each other last winter. While stitching, Andrea thought of their aunties twirling around in a joyous dance. They are the Twirly Girls. Techniques, free motion embroidery, fabric painting, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations, Andrea, winner of the Hobbs Bonded Fibers Best Wall Quilt Award. The next category is the Best Movable Machine Workmanship Award, sponsored by American Professional Quilting Systems. Presenting the award for APQS is Angela Huffman. And the APQS Best Movable Machine Workmanship Award goes to Seasons of Life by Sandra Mullen and Chris Spray of Valley Springs, California. Mostly silk, this original design was inspired by traditional album-style quilts as well as designs from the arts and crafts movement of the late 19th and the early 20th centuries. Techniques use hand applique, beading, broderie purse, couching, hand dyeing, embellishments, hand embroidery, silk ribbon embroidery, inking, and machine quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to Sandra and Chris for the APQS Best Movable Machine Workmanship Award. The next category is Best Stationary Machine Workmanship Award, sponsored by Bernina of America. Presenting the award for Bernina of America is John Carr or Vince Nutt? I'm John. You're John. All right, John. John Carr. I have both here. I wasn't sure. Welcome, John. The Bernina of America Best Stationary Machine Workmanship Award goes to Eternal Beauty, Sherry Reynolds of Laramie, Wyoming. Sherry dedicated this quilt to her mom, whose beauty and life shines eternally in Sherry's heart. 4 years and 15,000 pieces later, Sherry created a vision of love and beauty in the night sky. Techniques include hand applique. Congratulations. Hand applique, couching, crystals, dimensional work, free motion quilting, paper piecing, and machine quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations, Sherry, for the Bernina Best Stationary Machine Workmanship Award. There's only 2 left. The Best Hand Workmanship Award is sponsored by the American Quilter Society. Presenting the award for the American Quilter Society is Meredith Schrader. The AQS Best Hand Workmanship Award goes to Reminiscence of Mariko Takeda of Japan. Congratulations. This is Mariko's first entry into an AQS contest. She used hand applique and hand quilting beautifully to create this stunning quilt. Congratulations, Mariko, for the winner of the AQS Best Hand Workmanship Award. Bye. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The Best of Show Award is sponsored by Janome America. Presenting the award for Janome America is Patrick Favre, or Nancy Berg. Patrick, we got Patrick. All right, great. And the Janome America Best in Show winner for the 35th annual AQS Quilt Week contest is Muttons and Buttons and Pearls, oh my, Janet Stone, Overland Park, Kansas. Janet's inspiration came from an antique woven coverlet. She found that working with just 4 colors was easier than anticipated and made far fewer decisions in the design. Quilted on a stationary machine, techniques include fused applique, machine applique, bias work, couching, embellishments, and machine piecing. Congratulations, Janet. And then stay there 1 second. And Bonnie, I think you were going to come out. And now we're going to have Bonnie come out for a special presentation on behalf of Paducah Mayor Brandy Harless.
To all to whom these presents shall come, greetings. Know ye that Janet Stone is awarded the Duchess of Paducah. I hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities. I have no idea what those are. Thereunto appertaining, in testimony whereof, this is all really legal stuff, you know, I have caused these letters to be made patent and the seal of the city to be affixed, done at Paducah the 23rd day of April in the year of our Lord, 2019, signed Mayor Brandy Harless.
The Duchess of Paducah, Janet Stone. Congratulations, Janet. Winner of Best in Show and Paducah's newest Duchess. See, I could have said Miss Paducah, and it would have been perfect. See, I couldn't have screwed that up. This concludes the awards presentation for this evening. We hope that you have enjoyed the stunning quilts recognized in this year's competition, and that you will have the time to enjoy them again and again, along with hundreds of other fine quilts at the 35th Annual AQS Quilt Week celebration. A special thank you to everyone for making 35 years of quilting so exciting, and good night and enjoy. We'll see you at Quilt Week.